All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. It's 7 o'clock, September 3rd, 2015. We're Nerds on the Couch, and we got a special guest today. Sir, can you please introduce yourself to everybody?
I'd be happy to. Hey, all right, all right, all right. Kerrigan Mahan here, voice of Goldar, Magna Defender, and God knows how many more.
We are so excited to have you here with us, sir. And we got to tell you, of course, you're talking to us because next week you're going to be at the Las Cruces Comic Con with us in Las Cruces Civic Center, and we're going to have an awesome time there. And again, you are known for being the voice of Goldar, and we want to get a little bit into voice acting, your voice acting career, because when we looked you up, man, you are absolutely prolific in everything. And so I got to ask you, how did you get into this voice acting business?
Well, I started as an on-camera actor, and I fell into the voiceover world. I just did. I fell into it, literally. I was, well, a funny story. It is a funny story. I am out of work. My girlfriend at the time, she's a blues singer, and she's working at a little place on Sunset Plaza called Pasta Etc. And she comes home and says, oh man, this guy came in at they stayed open late, and it was a very high-end, Beverly Hills-ish kind of rich pasta, overpriced crap, right? And so it was the only place that stayed open late where anybody on anywhere in the vicinity could come in and get to go really good pasta. And so this guy comes in at about 11 o'clock. They close at 12. And he says, hey, you really got a great voice. We're recording right down the street. We're doing a cartoon. And she tells me this story, and I'm like, God, Wanda, you are so naive. Really? Oh, really? They're recording at midnight a cartoon down the street. What a bunch of Said, hey, did you look at your face lately, Wanda? Your blonde hair and your blue eyes? I think you were being hit on. Well, as it turns out, they were recording Robotech, and we went in the next day, and Wanda tried to dub, and she couldn't dub her way out of a paper bag. She had no clue. We were going to no beeps. I watched the gentleman who was not hitting on Wanda. I watched him doing what he did, and he was dubbing, and I'd never dubbed anything. Well, actually, I did. I looped. A Knight Rider was my very, very first job, but it was really when looping was a real loop. You didn't see the picture. You really just, yeah, but that's Team Knight Rider. I mean the original Knight Rider. And I looped one line, and you actually heard the loop in your ear. You didn't see anything on picture, and that's why it was called looping, because you kept hearing the loop over and over again, and then they cut it in the editing room. You didn't try to match anything on the screen because there was nothing on the screen. That didn't even come in until I don't know, 1980, early 80s, when they started dubbing to the screen. So I looked at what Greg, by the way, his name was Greg Snegoff, and he played Lord Chiron, and he's also very prolific. And I'm like going, I can't do this. He's trying to read the script. He's looking at the screen. It's moving like this. And, he's standing there with his legs really far apart and stooped down on the microphone. It's like war. It's like, I am never going to be able to do this. As it turned out, I became the fastest looper, the fastest dubber of the whole crew. And Snegoff and I used to have, what do you call it? Like go against each other for who could do the most loops an hour.
Mic battles.
Yeah, mic battles. Good. I like that, mic battles. I had, I held the record of 58 lines, cues. We call them cues. But a cue could be 3 lines. I mean, meaning there could be breaks in it where it only counts as one, and another cue might just be a little short line. But they're all referred to as a cue each. I held the record at Intersound, where we recorded Robotech, for probably the better part of a year.
Wow.
So Snagoff got me. He hit 59. I know he cheated. I know he just couldn't stand the fact that I held the record for that. So anyway,
What a hater.
That's kind of how an answer, a long-winded answer, but that's really where my voiceover career started, at a little funny studio called Intersound on Sunset Plaza, and initially I started what they call doing bits and walla, which is background and then just one line guys, and I'm like, my God, I love this job. I'm not waiting tables, I'm not tending bar, I'm not auditioning for on camera, and I'm having a ball, and it paid at the time. Well, we're talking 1980, 83, 84. And we were getting paid $15 an hour. I mean, $15 an hour in 1984. That was good money. And then I landed the role. Bob Barron, who was the main director, he really was my mentor. Snagoff is how I got started, but really Bob Barron and Carl Masek, who was the producer. Brings back good memories, guys.
Hey, it brings back good memories for us.
I grew up.
Just listening to you talk about this just reminds me of my childhood, because I went through Robotech. I would watch them. I'd love to listen to the voices, and one of the voices you did was Ayers, Dusty Ayers.
Oh, that was a good one. I forgot about Dusty Ayers.
Yeah.
He was cool. He was kind of along the same lines. Actually, now that you bring that up, Dusty Ayers was very much like Magna Defender. It was very much in that vein. That's right. And of course, I did Private Sean Phillips, which when I was promoted, if you will, to a real lead, I mean, I'm like, man, I have hit the big time.
Well, I'm sure it was a lot of fun, because I remember when Robotech was on the air, I would run home every single day to catch the episode, because it was like within 30 minutes of school letting out, and I had to run home to get there to go ahead and watch it. And but one of the things, I'm sure you have a lot of fun doing it, but if someone told you when you were a kid that this is what you were going to do as a career for your life, what would you have said?
I just said this. It's very funny. I just had this conversation 2 days ago, out of the blue, with a friend. It's actually kind of interesting who it was, so I got to think of who it was I was talking to. Oh, my acting friend, Allie Hillis. And if you look her up, you've seen her, and she's cool, and she plays the voice of one of the big games, Fantasy something, and she's Final Fantasy, and Allie is all, she does the cons. And I said to her, if somebody had told me 23 years ago that Goldar was going to be my legacy, I would have laughed. I'd have laughed them out of the room and said, you are so crazy nuts, just get out of here. And I make fun, too, that, I mean, this just isn't stopping. It's getting bigger. And now the movie, and I understand that Goldar and Rita, on the QT.
So you're hoping to come out in the movie?
Well, we're out, dude. We're the leads.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No, Rita and Goldar are taking over the world, apparently.
Yep.
I said it's about time. Get out of the way, Obama.
I'm getting a flashback.
Hey, Trump this, mother. Yeah.
I got to point out, first of all, I am a huge Power Rangers fan, and and I have seen the original Japanese episodes. And so I gotta ask you, like you brought up Goldar, and even today I walked into Toys R Us. There's still There's a giant Goldar Fisher Price toy.
Well, they're bringing back because the movie. I mean, the movie's going to be a big. This is a big franchise, the Mighty Morphin, and they're probably going to do. My guess would be they'll probably do two, and I'd like to believe I'm going to survive the one, and then if I get to do the second one, I mean, I even heard. I'm sure you guys have heard too that Dwayne Johnson is playing me, and all right.
Well, I always try to ask this of all the Power Ranger actors that I've met, and because it's been, like you said, 20 years. What is the appeal, you think, in your opinion, for the Power Rangers?
I wish I could answer that. I don't know. Quite honestly, guys, if I really was embarrassed to tell you this, I wouldn't be telling it to you. But at a point, maybe 2 years ago, I don't even think it was 2 years ago, I'd never seen the show. I saw what I saw when I did it. And, of course, I saw enough to get an idea, but I'm dubbing me, and I'm listening to headphones, whether Barbara had been recorded or not, where I have lines with somebody else. Sometimes I'm the first in, and I have nobody. I'm not wearing headphones. I don't need headphones because they're not there. I'm just wearing headphones to hear my own voice. So I decided to take a look at the damn thing. And, the first 16 episodes, I was like, I just don't get it. And then all of a sudden, evil is the new green, or green is the new evil, episode 17, 5-part, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. And my God, I scared myself. I'm like, what the hell was I doing to these poor little kids? Holy crap. This guy's brutal, And obviously I was throwing all of my frustration and anger into the bastard.
So I got two questions for you.
So, I didn't really answer your question. I think it's good versus evil. It's that action and happy endings and goodwill prevail, and I just think it has all of those elements that we all just cozy up to. And no matter how cheesy it got sometimes, the bottom line is we're fighting evil. And evil is out there, and evil is scary. And we got heroes in these kids and the thing, and it just had those elements of that's why it sustained. And wow, lucky me. Oh, and I didn't disappear. Goldar didn't properly turn to sand. I watched that very closely too. It's like, no, you never tell. I'm still here.
Well, first of all, let me. I know, Sherman, you have a question, but let me bring it. Do you know what happens to Goldar in the Japanese series? Okay, you marry the Scorpia, so you marry like a scorpion girl, and you have a baby, and you're tossed into space. That was.
and that's probably what they ought to do to me.
All right, Sherman.
All right, so I got two questions for you. Now, did you got to meet pretty much everybody that was on the cast when you were doing the shows, when you were doing your voiceovers?
Oh yeah.
And so, was it Jason David Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to know him pretty well? Now, he's challenged CM Punk to a fight, MMA style. Who do you think's gonna come out on top?
Oh
yeah, and I'm putting you on the spot. My bad.
Yeah, no. I could just do, that typical Hollywood. Oh, I don't think I should. No, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to be now. I am going to embarrass myself, which most Hollywood actors would never ever do. What I'm going to say. Who the hell is the other guy?
Good answer. Good answer.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't want to mess with. I crashed. Jason and Kerrigan we never cozied up to each other. I don't quite know what or why. I never quite got that, but it's like the Hatfields and the McCoys. I don't think they, the rumor is that they never really finally knew what the hell those families were even fighting about.
Right.
Not to say we were fighting. It was just there was just kind of the tone was set early on, and unfortunately, it's kind of remained that way for 23 years. So I decided about 4 or 5 years ago at a Power Morphin Con to crash his panel as Goldar, and my agent at the time said, "Now, what are you going to do?" I said, "You just watch, honey," and I start squeezing into the door, and the security's like, "Blah, blah, blah." My agent said, no, he's Goldar. And so I kind of slip through, and the room's just packed. I mean, there's 500-600 people. There's not a seat to be had. And a lot of them, of course, know who I am, so I'm trying to stay discreet, too. I'm slipping into the back, slipping into the back. He has no clue, although I think he kind of senses it a little something is something. Because there's a little bit of murmuring, right? And I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to say. And I just said, to hell with it, here we go. And I waited and timed it. And there was just this little hint of a lull. And then I just came right down the center going, I will F you up. The whole place erupted. He kind of lit up like, I don't know where to go with this. Where is he going with it? And I'm seeing his face, and I'm going, I'll do what I've done to you every time. You have no chance with me. And he then kind of got his bearings, and he kind of lit, and I kept coming with more crap. And all of a sudden, he gets up, and he starts to move at me. I'm like, no, I'm too old for that shit. I ducked out, and everybody loved it. And a huge applause, and it felt good. The moment was beautiful. And I made my attempt at peace, and
right.
He never even came by and said, "Wow, that was really cool." So we're now actually working at kind of getting at more cons with him, because he doesn't want to do cons. Someone, I don't know what it's all about. I don't know. But I'm not a Power Ranger, so it's like, well, this would be really, really bitching prior to the movie if we start, getting it at cons together. So we're talking to Wizard World. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
I hope that,
And Austin and I are very
be
tight.
able to show some stuff.
What's that, Sherman?
I'm hoping that when you get to the Las Cruces Comic Con, you'll be able to do something amazing and really wow the people out there, as I'm sure you will.
Well,
I have fun at the cons. I have fun with the fans, and I'm very honest on the panels, which sometimes I probably am. Why don't I just let's tighten it, dial that in a little, man.
Well, it's awesome that here at the Las Cruces Comic Con, you're going to be with Barbara Goodson, who was also the voice of Rita Repulsa. So the fans are getting Rita Repulsa and Goldar.
Back together again.
Yeah.
Well, Barbara and I have done a lot of them side by side, and we play off each other, and we have a really good time.
That's awesome.
And we'll launch into the voice. I mean, I mean, I don't do it for every, just constantly do the voice. It's like, no, I get paid to do the voice. But I have no problem, we have a lot of fun together. Sometimes she's signing a thing or doing a thing, and I'll go, oh my God, here we go again with your BS. And they love it. I mean, I love it, and we love it. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, I can imagine you guys arguing, especially with the cussing going back and forth.
Oh yeah, she can get vile. And we actually have talked to Saban. We haven't heard anything, but we both think that she still loves doing on camera. I don't much give a damn one way or the other. I find it tedious, and I don't want to memorize. Well, that was the great thing about getting a voiceover. It's like, wow, I don't have to memorize lines. I don't have to shave.
I can sign my jammies.
Yeah, this is great. But we thought it would be awesome. Again, the script is written, so, and I write screenplays now, and you don't just stick a scene into a screenplay. So if there's a spot, there's a spot. If there's not, there's not. But we thought it would be wonderful for us to do a cameo arguing with each other in a regular contemporary situation where she is my boss. And, he gives a little hint of her voice going, whatever my character's name is, Gary, or as opposed to Goldar, what is it, whatever. You didn't handle this. I told you had to handle this. I said, well, how am I supposed to handle it? I'm down there. I'm doing what I have to do, and nobody's backing me up. All right, I don't want to hear it. Just take care of it. Just a little fast scene that works in the movie. The fans would go crazy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Chino, you had a question?
Two. First question. Did you go back to see your work on Robotech after you filmed it? I mean, were you curious to see how it would come out,
Well, in that day, I did watch my stuff because I was so new to it all, and I wanted to see how, especially when I was doing Private Sean Phillips, who actually, that character, I originally started as a sergeant. Or a lieutenant, and I was demoted because of my, because I was a bad boy, and so they cast me. They, as often is the case in Hollywood, they cast the actor for his how do I say? They saw what they liked in me as this guy who has plenty of cockiness.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a great time playing Sean Phillips. And so sure, I in answer to your question, I did watch my work. I didn't race home every day after school to see it.
Boom.
No. For the most part, to just cap it, pretty much the most watching was watching the playback and making sure that the performance was there and the sync was there. And, I'd be the first to raise my hand and say, can we do that one again? It's not there. Yeah, let's do another one, sure. So they were very good. They were very good about that. I did a big old thing called the Jesus thing that ran on Channel 9, KCAL 9 every year. A child called Jesus. Did you guys get that in Las Cruces? Years ago. It ran every Christmas. It was like a two-part thing.
Yeah, we remember that. And just to clarify, because people will yell at us, we're in El Paso, Texas. El Paso is like the neighbor city to, we're the sister city to Las Cruces, I guess.
Right on. Yeah. Because I did a toy store actually in El Paso, so I'm going to be.
Yes, we were there.
Yeah,
we remember you.
That was
oh, you were, huh?
Yeah, Jax's boy toys.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had gotten the voice, the voicemail.
Giant Goldar. Well, you were considering getting the giant Goldar to get him sign it, weren't you, Willie, or was that
right,
Renee?
that was.
Yeah, I got artist George Baeza. He did a Goldar in your honor, and he's our local artist here who does awesome designs. He did a Goldar for you being there, and I got him. You signed that one, and that's the one I got from you.
Okay.
So
you and I have actually met, Renee?
Yeah, you
Actually,
signed my chest. No, I'm kidding.
Almost all of us have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh,
All but Jerome.
yeah. Well, I got,
Jerome.
My bad.
yeah.
My bad.
Well, I gotta bring this up because I was looking you up today, and I saw your YouTube channel, and I gotta say the Goldar and Me videos you did are actually much better than the Birdman movie.
I love Birdman.
It's a good movie.
I love that film. I could watch it every night. Keaton should have won the Academy Award. And
I agree.
watch
They
it
don't agree
again.
with me, but I agree.
Well, he was incredible, and the film's incredible. And if you watch it all again, guys, just look at the cinematography. It is. The traveling shots are remarkable. It's beautifully shot. It's
There's
a
only
big
about
film.
three or four
Yeah.
shots in the entire film.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. It is.
I
really
gave it a bad review because of the ending. 'Cause
you know what? I struggle with the ending too. Sorry. I'm like, okay. I love the actress. What's her first name? First name
Emma?
Stone.
Emma Stone?
Emma?
It's almost like the director didn't give her anything, and you ripped the emotion from me a little bit. I really wanted to cry, and I kind of sat there going, I don't even quite know what this is. Just yes, I'm with you, sir. The ending, the very ending, was a bit of a disappointment.
Well, what I love is that it's a movie about actors and what acting is all about in regards to not, what you see in front of the camera, but also the heart and soul that goes into live theater.
Yes, and he shot it and the director shot it in such a magnificent style that you actually got the sense of live theater, everything about it. And my favorite scene, and I know you will agree with me, is that I just over and over and over and over, is when he confronts that critic in the bar. It's a label. It's a label. That's just a
Yeah,
label.
I mean, yes.
So out of his mind.
The thing is this: you forget what you like to tear things apart that we put together.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you'll never forget when he gets stuck and outside having to go in his underwear throughout the whole thing.
And pointing his finger like the gun.
well, that's why when I was watching his YouTube videos, it kind of struck me in the same vein because the humor was funny, but at the same time, I was feeling like Goldar's your shadow.
Well, when Birdman came out, I was completely blown away because I didn't know anything about Birdman, and I'm making these Goldar and me's, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, I love the Goldar and me's. They were a lot of work, no money, all the other aspects, but I did it out of love, out of just what the hell. Daniel came down and my favorite one personally is And Comfort No Man Speak. And everyone said to me, don't do that. Nobody's going to get it. Your fans don't want to see. There was the F word, Shakespeare. And I said, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm doing this for me, and hopefully my fans will get it. And and it was my most challenging, but both shooting it, and getting the angles right. With me as the director in the audience and up on stage, and oh my God, it was work. And then I came back to my house after 5 hours of shooting of Comfort, and we shot. In other words, we shot them in reverse order. So the second one, I just could not keep my lines together, and I know my shooter has outtakes of me. You want to talk about some swearing? God, I mean.
Well, how hard was it doing Shakespeare lines in Goldar's voice?
Not at all. Not at all. I know that speech like the back of my hand. I took Shakespeare in New York City in 80, 79, 80, and 81. I went to New York to be an actor. And I did some off Broadway, and I studied some Shakespeare, and I did that Richard II speech. And, I studied the lines in Central Park, and they just never left. And I never had an outlet for it. I never got to do it ever, anywhere, ever. And I just thought, I want to do this. And I tried to put a contemporary spin on it. As opposed to of comfort, no man speak, let's talk of graves and loves, lift house, wake the sun, that English. So, really, when I go, really? Because it's a really fabulous speech.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed that piece.
Yeah. So, doing the Goldar part, it's directing him to do what he has to do is the hard part, because he's not an actor. And then I just go upstairs and knock out, I'm coming down, yes, talking of graves and worms and epitaphs, make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth.
You just made me tear up, sir.
You gotta do that in the movie.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you were creating the Goldar voice, because I hear a little Rocky Balboa in there, how did you go ahead and come across to, come up with the voice itself? Or did they already have a voice that they wanted you to do?
Nobody had any clue.
Makes sense.
And what I find is people outside the industry have a tendency, and understandably so, to kind of overthink this stuff. Like, and then somebody said it. Well, no, I created. Well, we're going to have a meeting about it. Well, here's what I hear Goldar. Well, I'd like to bring something to it. Now, Tony Oliver said, Kara, you're going to do this Gold guy. I don't think he has much of a part. And I said, all right, I'll do him. And I didn't focus or concentrate on the voice at all, because I thought I was going in to do a line or two once a week. And then he called me and he said, hey, you better figure out what you're doing with that voice, because Goldar's got a really big part.
Well,
Really?
one that I want to bring up, one that got me interested, that you do some really, like right now before we got online, you did a cool Matthew McConaughey. And when I was looking you up, I saw the clip of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Do you study the actors when you imitate voices?
I think we do. I mean, I don't think we study. I mean, for the most part, some actors go, hog wild over studying, and they, learn their lines like they're backwards and forwards, and really delve in. And I think, I'm a little bit of a lazy actor. It all comes to me really fast. And if I have a part that I really don't know where to begin on. These are the days of on camera. I always built a character kind of both from the outside in and from the inside out. And what that means is basically my head is figuring out who he is from the inside out. My other head, not that head, but my other that head probably enters into building a character too.
We're talking about his penis, Chino.
So, The other side is I'm a big fan of fanatic, I should say, of what are my shoes? Do I wear wingtips? Do I wear tennis shoes? Do I wear what color socks do I wear? And the audience may never see any of this, but I need to know to find out who is this guy. So when I'm performing this character, I know who he is. I know if he brushes his teeth with an electric toothbrush or by hand. I know if he likes Fuji apples or hates apples altogether. And so I really am kind of dedicated in that manner, but I move fast. I'll write a bio real fast. And if it's coming easy, great. I mean, I love easy homework. Goldar, I didn't really answer it back to the voice. I went down into my basement. I had a small basement where I played drums in Burbank, in our little Spanish house, and I took about an hour, and it had nothing much to do with, all you do, again, you look at the character, for God's sake, and it's like, well, what do you want this guy to sound like? I mean, obviously, Goldar said, I could do it, and it's like, no, that's kind of more along the lines of Babu, or...
By the way, that was a great David voice. Thank you for imitating me.
Well, really not true.
I'll just leave him alone.
No, stop.
Seymour, shut up.
First shot to know you.
Oh, yeah.
I should be filming this somehow.
Well, we are.
Yeah, but we're not getting this, both sides and the whole thing. Anyway, point being, Goldar's voice had to firstly stay consistent to some degree with what I initially gave him, and it was very pinched. The first 16 episodes, again, I wasn't committed. So I went downstairs and I got the voice in an hour, and what I did was get a lot of air going over the vocal cords so it sounds way bigger. It's not scratching my cords. I could record him for about 45 minutes without hurting a thing. That was my rule. We're not going over 45 because I'm going on to do, Breaker High and Sweet Valley High promos for, I promoted those after school shows, and I had to have a voice. So he was not a strain. He wasn't a strain. In fact, the biggest problem in my whole career was when we had to go do a movie where there was a lot of screaming and a crowd screaming and freaking out. And it's like I just stopped doing those sessions. I said, look, the loop coordinator was Lee French, and I made a kind of a rule. I'm not doing any movies or pilots or TV where you're just doing layer after layer, track after track after track of 7 actors screaming their asses off. I won't do it. And, I kind of got a reputation for being, the little prima donna bitch that doesn't want to scream.
What does that work the other way around? If you were a prima donna, you would be screaming?
any way you want to paint it.
Let me ask you a quick question. When you do your performances, are any of them emotionally draining? Do you ever go like, oh, it took it out of me,
Great question. You're asking some good questions, all of you. I don't usually get you haven't. None of you have asked a lousy question, which is amazing.
Hey, we're professionals.
Well, that and we've been stalking you for a few days. You really are at your house.
Don't look under the bed.
This is all extremely comforting.
Hey, don't worry about the scratches at the door. Just ignore them.
Yeah, I have been. The scary thing is I have been, but my dog, my Great Dane, by the way, and my wolf dog have not been ignoring them.
It's because they like chicken.
Yeah, it's because they like chicken. Not. So, yeah, great question, and I have a great answer for you. Absolutely, yes. Two characters come to mind. Like take a character like Bunta in oh gosh, the one that runs the sushi shop and is a race car driver, and his son's a race car driver. You can buy it.
Oh, you're talking about Initial D.
Speed Racer?
Yeah.
No, Initial D.
Let me
Oh,
tell you
Initial
how,
D.
let me tell you how much that took out of me. Absolutely nothing. Now, you take a character, Dusty Ayres, Magna Defender, well written, tortured anti-hero, the one with that two-part A Child Called Jesus. I played a character called what the hell was his name? Saphir. And I'm combing the desert trying to find Jesus because I'm going to kill him. So the premise already is, for me, my character's like, oh, God. And I have this scene where I put this guy up against a wall and I got to give it. I got to give it. And I can watch that scene today and I'm still like, wow, man, that was good. But that takes it out of you because you're sinking it. You're bringing all this emotion. You're trying to sink it, and you get it almost perfect, and nope, not there. And you finish one of those sessions, and you're like, "Oh my God, where is the martini lunch?" So, in answer to your question, absolutely, yes, there are characters that you go, wow, that was brutal.
How often do you get work in anime? How often do you get dubbing jobs in anime?
Well, now I don't do much because I'm up in Morro Bay, and you kind of got to be down in LA to do that stuff. So I kind of missed the gaming boat too, because when I decided to hit the road and roll up to the beach and say I'm done, and then build a house that cost me $2 million and everything went goodbye, my whole everything bye, and it's like, oh, that worked out well.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, but here I am, I'm bouncing back, and we're doing more Comic Cons, and now this movie, is gonna, come on, it's rumored that Meryl Streep's gonna play Rita. Are you kidding me?
Interesting.
So, anime-wise, I don't do much anymore because I'm not down there, and you have to be down there. Unfortunately, the damn anime, it's actually the most draining of all because you're doing two things: you're doing performance and you're syncing. So an anime 4-hour anime session of doing Q after Q after Q after Q, you're finished with a 4-hour session. You're done.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That brings up an interesting point because we've spoken to a few animated guys at the conventions and all that, and they speak about how the business changes. And some, and this is the thing we're finding interesting, some say that it's starting to get more and more inclusive, that it's only like the same 50 guys, and that it's hard to get into the business. And you who are in the business are saying that you're not getting as much as it is. So do you think it's the location, or do you think it's just how business now is, where you're just not there, they don't see you, you're out of sight?
Yeah, you hit it right there. I'm out of sight, out of mind. I'm told by so many of my cronies, oh my God, they need your type so bad. They need that guy to play the sergeant. They need this, they need that together. And if I gave a damn, I'd get on the phone and start hustling. and finding some work and pedaling down 3 hours to dub, because with all this technology, we still aren't really dubbing like we're talking right now. Theoretically, you would think I could do a gig and see the character and on my microphone lay it in, and we'll be there inside of 5 years. It literally, we're probably there now. But there's also ego. The directors want you there. They don't want to do a patch thing. And quite honestly, I'm writing. I'm writing screenplays now. My focus is on in another area. And if somebody called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to play, this role in this game?" Yeah, absolutely. Can you come down to LA once a week to do it? What's it pay? $19. No.
Well, that's great, because you want to do Nerds on the Couch, the movie?
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of this.
Oh, well, we're coming up on our time, and we got to ask any last-minute question, guys?
I'm in awe.
Well, you said that you're working with screenplays now. What kind of screenplays have you been working on?
Well, I've rewritten a couple for money, but I haven't.
Hey, they could have used you on Fantastic Four. Ooh, I'm sorry. That was a low blow there.
You're not sorry.
You
You're not
just
sorry.
tranked it.
Well, let me tell you, sir, Goldar would have been a better villain if he showed up in the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh yeah.
I rallied for that. No, I have a big tentpole movie that's a coming of age story about a young road race motorcycle rider who's 5 generations road racing, and he winds up getting on to one of the premier MotoGP teams, and it's a big movie and it's good. And my other screenplay that my entertainment attorney, is right now sending out query letters right and left, and it's a Depression era that is based on my family's book, on my father's book, The Boy Who Looked Like Shirley Temple. My dad was a child actor between 1935 and 1940 in a serial called The Jones Family, starring Spring Byington, which nobody certainly remembers or knows any about that. It's a struggling family coming down from Washington State, thinking things are going to be better in Los Angeles, and they wind up in a little nasty rental behind an ex-blues singer's house, and it's just a wonderful script. And I think we'll have a deal inside of 6 months to a year, quite honestly. I think I'm going to get to see my movie actually made. Before my dad said someday it will be. I wish he was alive to see the screenplay that we made his book into, because we really took we really went out, meaning it's based loosely at this point, but we did a lot of things to it to integrate it, and it's a real wonderful family film that everybody would really like, meaning the parents are going to dig it and the kids are going to dig it. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's called Screenland.
Oh.
And most people don't realize that all the movies that were made in the day, in the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, they weren't made in Hollywood. They were all made in Culver City. Culver City was Hollywood, and Culver City's seal to date is the heart of Screenland. And Yeah, it's just good Hollywood lore that integrates struggle, survival, heart, love, sticking together, making it happen, and it's magical. So we'll see.
Yeah, it
Well, we
sounds
look forward
awesome.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see that when it comes out.
Yes,
Well-
you're damn right you are.
In
You
fact,
need to go ahead and get the guy that directed Birdland. I'm sure you should get him to direct it.
no,
He-
this guy
he-
can, no, no,
he
no,
might-
no.
he might be a little cutting edge for this one.
No, David.
Darren Manahan can direct this. Check out for our audience. Check out his YouTube channels. Those Goldar and Me videos are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled you enjoyed those. They were a labor of love.
You know what, David? Maybe you should just give him your money now.
Well, again, just to finish our last plug, Kerrigan Mahan will be at Las Cruces Comic Con the weekend of September 11th. David will give him $1,000.
Oh, this is good.
All right.
Hey, is this Comic Con? I'm really looking forward to this. I've been told by multiple people that Las Cruces is a pretty cool place.
It is.
It is.
It's a nice city, and hopefully it won't be too hot. You know, the weather's starting to cool down over here. So.
Yeah. The first I did an on-camera Incredible Hulk
Ooh.
where I think I was driving a tram with people looking at whatever. It doesn't matter. But the title, ironically enough, was Lost in Las Cruces.
Yeah, the only thing I would suggest is don't stand near the steampunk Iron Man because that guy's gonna faint. So
Yeah, he's gonna.
near that guy.
You're gonna see you're gonna be smelling roasted carnitas there. If he's out in the heat.
Ooh. No. Yeah, roasted carnitas and heat, and I did get. We were coming home from a little beach town. My buddy was living in La Paz, Mexico, importing fish, tropical fish, and we went over to a little town over on the other side just to look at it. I don't know. And on our way back, we're gonna have this big, magnificent fresh fish dinner at the restaurant where he frequented. And I said, he says, "Oh, let's go get some of these carnitas or taquitos or some awesome thing." And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's 100 fucking. I mean, it's hot." Okay. But they were good. They were good.
And sir, again, we're looking forward to having you. Hopefully, we get to talk some more at live in Las Cruces.
I'm going to meet all of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing your nerd confession.
Well, that's
We'll
not
make
sure
sure.
on, but hopefully we'll get him over here someday. But yeah, hopefully we'll take some pictures and we get to chat again. Kerrigan Mahan will be at the Las Cruces Comic Con the weekend of September 11th. We got to thank Troy for making this happen. Thank you, sir, for being with us. It was just an absolute pleasure talking to you. It was awesome.
Back at you guys. I enjoy doing these, and I'll see you there in a week.
Yeah. So again, catch our show.